As the umpire blows the whistle to start this game this afternoon, the big ruckman upper will be Arnold. Gets first tap in his direction, looking for McGowan. He couldn't find him. It crumbs across the hill. Intercepted there by Reyes. He goes wide, trying to find Cook. Cook quickly on the boot, gets his kick in front of home, goes up forward. The ball's pushed out and will go out of bounds for the first throw in for the afternoon. The weather this afternoon has indicated, Andrew's going to be a little bit of rain, maybe a chance of a thunderstorm, so it's not a good sign.
Indeed, the ball's certainly going to be on the ground all day, and it'll be the little fellas, the movers, that can push it forward and win the ball at ground level. It's certainly going to make all the difference today. Quick kick by Hill again, comes across the half-forward line. It is slippery conditions aboard. Here's Cook. He'll smother this one. He takes it, needs to throw the ball up forward, looking for McEntee. Couldn't quite find that direction. Hopwood cleans up. He'll go short to Holm, and Holm will go further afield.
Arnold in ruck for the Bulldogs. They rely on him heavily today. Short it goes, and Marco Bello, who's been an exciting recruit since coming across from the VFL earlier this year. 14 is Bartlett. He looks stronger. The knee was a trouble last week. He looks a picture. 31. I think you'll get another couple of years out of him, Glenelg. Certainly looking like he's enjoying his football again. A high ball towards centre half forward. Up and down went Josh Carr, couldn't complete the mark. 10 was Michael Stevens, a new face, as Tony McGinn, the Glenelg coach, goes for the phone. Obviously on the phone already, just looking to get his team balance right. And a couple of interesting matchups we see there with Alistair Burke taking Scott Lee, who kicked 5 goals last week. So that should be a good contest. Umpire will continue the bounce of the football this afternoon. The grounds are soft. You'll see players slipping and sliding for most of the afternoon. Holmes in there quickly with Cook again. Cook last week, Andrew, was outstanding. Certainly was, and we see there Peter Carey, an interested onlooker, but yeah, young Sujay Cook got a lot of the ball early, and he certainly set Glenelg up there last week at Glenelg Oval. This time the umpire throws the football up. Arnold again puts it down to ground level. Scotty Lee starting on a half-forward flank. We're up against Raiders. Or actually Burke. Burke picks it up, goes around his body. The kick wasn't good, ill-directed. It's taken by Michael Stevens. Yes, a new player for Central Districts on the wing, and we saw so much of Scott Stevens on the wing for Centrals, and let's hope he can be as good as his namesake, David. Scotty Stevens picked up by North Adelaide just a few weeks ago after being told by Peter Jonas that he wouldn't get a senior game. Found himself a new club. It opens the way for Michael Stevens. Loose ball falls. Matt Bello comprehensively clean bowled on that occasion. Now it's a foot race. Bello and Fogden fighting hard for it over the top of the ball. Bello comes back again, thumps it back inboard. He did that pretty well in the final analysis. Hicks couldn't quite get to the contest, and look at the ball go to ground. I think we'll see a lot of that today. Yeah, excellent work there from the Centrals forwards, just holding the ball in the area. They realised the importance not to let Glenelg get their running game going, and excellent desperation by Marco Bello. Well done. Inside 50. It's the Bulldogs. Need to score from this forward thrust. The ball's put down. Contesting it was number 11 in Bulkwell. Again, players just quite happy to dive over the top of the football. Former Centrals coach there, and didn't he turn this side around for the time that he was involved with this football club? Had a big influence on Centrals. They couldn't win the elusive flag, and now heavily involved with Port Power in their recruiting. So no doubt keeping his eyes firmly placed on a few potential players. Just wonder who he would have been watching here today, Andrew. Young number 49 in the reserves for Glenelg was my tip. His name is the Tip, along with a few other letters after it, but we won't even attempt to pronounce that. I might leave it with you being the expert. The boy from Alice Springs, Shane Tippermantameri. Tippermantameri. That'll do us. That'll do us. Northern Territory viewers would recognise him. He played pretty well too, so if Stewie was having a look at him, I don't think he would have been disappointed, as Bello, prominent early, flicks it out to Danny Holm. A high bomb towards full forward. Who's the flyer? Hicks was up from behind, but Fogden took front position. Lilico gathers the ball, or did he gather it? No, he didn't, said the umpire. It's a free kick. Reckless tackle there from Glenelg. I mean, he didn't even have possession of the foot. He just grabbed him and threw it, just tapped it on. Fell between his legs, just held on him too long, and a silly free kick from there. I thought he sold it pretty well, didn't he? He was just grabbed, he spun himself and threw himself to the ground. And I guess you could say he played for a little bit, but at the end of the day, he's got a shot for goal 15 metres out. When the umpire blows the whistle, they look good. When the umpire doesn't, the coaches really get annoyed as players lose their footing, and he's missed. So a golden opportunity missed for the Bulldogs as Lilico goes to the near side and scores a point.
I just think today that's an area that's going to be real crucial in the result. Goals 10, 15 metres out in wet conditions, you really must nail them. They're going to be at a premium. There's not going to be plenty of goals scored, and you're disappointed with that effort, that young player.
Burke brings the football in. He goes wide looking for Fettimer. Out there also is Fogman. Fettimer takes it, now goes to Fogman with a long sleeve jumper on this afternoon. He kicks down the wing. Chance here again for the Tigers to build something. They do this. Goes up towards centre half forward. Well read. Well taken. Will go wide. The running play there in Ellis. Takes it. Tries to get around his player. He does that. Now heads towards the top of the square. Coming out reading the ball better. This is the defence. The player there was actually Geister coming out very hard for it. Cook fiercely takes hold of the football. Comes back to Jamison. Jamison leg, left leg. Doesn't miss too many of these opportunities. He's happy with the result. And it's a major to the Tigers. The first for the afternoon.
Absolutely loves his left foot, Jamo. Always has, almost preferred to go onto that side, and you can just see with the accuracy there from 30 metres out, really never looked in doubt, and that's a terrific goal.
Wasn't he named at fullback?
Well, he's running back there as well, I think, fellas. He's
certainly
covered some ground.
Certainly named in defence, and been a goal kicker for a long time. So, yeah, well done, good effort, good running.
Well, it looks to me like Fogden's playing more fullback, and Jamison's got a running role across half-back.
Well, the way they're starting, they've got Chidwitten on a half-back flank as well, David, so they're playing some team rules out there. We may just have to follow it for the rest of the afternoon. Fogden gets his hands to the football, knocks it out wide. Now, Raiders, the speedster, will take this, goes over the top. It's got Jamison and Fogden there in support. Again, the ball will go further afield, looking for Hill. Hill couldn't keep it in. The ball will be thrown in on the outer wing.
Spot on with your call there, David. Tony McGuinness has just put Jamison loose in defence, using him as a running option forward there, and just trying to catch the Central's players off guard early in the game, and it's already worked.
Just need to sneak that one or two early goals and you can really set up a win. I think Tony McGuinness slaving with Johnston and Bickler over the...
just trying to get the matchups right, aren't they?
Yep. Any advantage early in the game can be crucial.
Especially if you can sneak a few before it gets too wet. Maybe they're anticipating a downpour or something, and every goal, as we said before, will be a real premium.
Look, on the boundary line, changes being made. We might go down to Michael Parsons. He can bring us up to date with the weather and some positional changes.
Yes, mate. Looks like Tony McGuinness is still trying to sort out that back play. Federer will come off, and Todd Wood-Stanley will go on and take the rucking duties. But as far as the weather, a bit Darwin-esque. It is wet, there's no doubt about that. The ground is pretty soft, but very warm. I think a maximum of 20 degrees forecast for today. And all in all, a very pleasant day sitting down here on the boundary line with my feet in a puddle.
and I hope it rains, big fella. Doesn't he look great, Mark, when it's wet? He looks like a 6'9" piece of celery.
We just hope it doesn't rain for him down there, because he does get upset, does get grumpy, does Michael Parsons.
I hope it pours.
He sees you up here with your rug around and the
coffee
and your Ugg boots on, and it's no wonder he gets upset.
Centrals go forwards. A chance here to bring up the first major. Great diving effort there by Burke. Has he got there? I don't think he has. He hasn't. A tremendous goal. I think it was McGowan that came through the middle of the ground. Great work
Hamblin,
there.
Murray Hamblin, I reckon it was. Nails? Murray Hamblin. Let's just have a
follow
look
it here.
Just gave it inside. Well done. And a long penetrating kick.
Wasn't a good kick.
Kept it low though, and it just took a nice little skid off into the square and almost took off as it went. Yeah. Great spectacle there and a great effort from Burke, but not good enough. Central's reply with a goal.
9 minutes gone and Central District get a goal. They're 1 point behind Glenelg, 1 point in front of Glenelg, should I say. Oh. Look at the good defensive work by Byrne. He did terrifically well because Stevens had the ball and he had support wide.
It's a terrible handball. It wasn't good. He really panicked it, trying to get it out too quickly without trying to hit the target.
I thought the pressure from Byrne really forced the error. And the Glenelg did that last week. We were critical, weren't we, of South Adelaide and their skills. But you just worry about South Adelaide. But Glenelg were very, very tough at it last week. And again, early, they're causing some turnovers.
They were tough at it. It was just the skill level last week that let both sides down. There's no doubt about their endeavour at all.
Winstanley against Arnold. Arnold still a bit too big, a bit strong at the moment. Gets the ball back to Byrne. Over his left shoulder, Byrne goes. McGowan should get there. The ball favours, in fact, Hamlin, the last goal kicker. the Centrals players. Lee's up there on a half-forward flank this afternoon. Going back there again is Burke. He'll go for the safety of the boundary line. He finds it. It's out of bounds once again.
Murray Hamblin, first goal in league footy. You'd remember your first, Paisy, wouldn't you?
A long time ago, but yeah, I certainly do. I think I helped you out with that one there. Made you look good for a change.
The Bulldogs are peppering their forward zone. Play on, said the umpire. He's going hard at it. Paul Sherwood, he had a thigh injury during the week, but he seems to have recovered, and he was going pretty hard at it and working it all pretty well. We worked that out pretty well in the finish because he only had the one option and he took it and it came off.
He really wanted the boundary line there, didn't he? But he had no other option. Came back in board and was very, very lucky to find Raiders then.
Raiders, left half back towards the grandstand wing. Offhands, it was Bartlett just providing a contest. I think that's his role today.
All Tony McGuinness would be looking for him to do is compete, contest and bring the ball to the front. We saw that one sneak over the back, had all these players in front of the play and the Central District's players over the back, so must bring the ball to the front there.
Bartlett looks like he'll be doing the ruck work on the Glenelg forward line as well. Holm, a good strong tackle. Couldn't get Kelly clear as we go back down to Michael Parsons.
Yes, fellas, they just changed their ruckman back off. Fettimer actually come off to change his boots, and I think the boot steward might have something to answer to if he selected the moulded soles on a day like today.
Yes, soft conditions here. Jamison again from a half-back flank. He's running loose. He's inside 50. Oh, the kick wasn't good. McEntee's in front of the pack. The little chip over the top. Couldn't be taken. The defence of Central District stays solid. Finds McGowan. He comes across to Holm. Holm's got time to set it up. He goes down the wing to Stevens. Stevens wants to play on. The player's running past him. Stevens chips the ball further afield. Coming through there is Hamblin again. He's tackled very well there by Kelly. Ball over the top now, looking again for Ellis. Couldn't take it. Players taken high in the contest. Coming through hard was Higgins. Unrewarded. The umpire will come in and throw it up.
Just really is a day where you can't afford to finesse too much and overuse the footy. We just saw there the Central's players just tried to do a little bit too much with it. Get it on the boot, get it moving forward.
Well, Bello did exactly that, forced it forward. Alistair Burke misses it. Picking up the crumbs was Chambers, but he couldn't get clear in the finish. Burke recovered pretty well.
I really think if Tony McGuinness can take anything from his side at the moment, that they're doing consistently well, and that's tackling. Tackling's been outstanding this year, and we just see again today where they really are tying Central's players up.
Well, boys, a last chance for these players to impress state selectors. The big game next week against the VFL side. And we notice Michael Noonan really hasn't let too much out of the bag so far this year.
He's got a pretty good record, Michael Noonan, doesn't he? He doesn't have to give too much away. Going around the corner, Lillico. Well done, the Tigers. Fettimer, under great duress, gets one out to Kelly. Claimed in the finish by McGowan. Streaming away as Chambers around the corner. He paused the ball into the forward line yet again. Hicks was underneath it, couldn't get there. 51's McArdle, it flicks out. Hicks onto home, but the handball wasn't quite slick enough. And the Tigers' defence is able to just recover and settle it towards the boundary line. Higgins did a good job.
Yeah, just enough pressure there. Forced the error. Handball went behind Daniel Holm. He had no other option. So well done by Glenelg.
Well, this is going to be a solid encounter this afternoon. Just sensing both sides. Central's just trying to make their way, or force their way into this top 5 sides in the competition at this stage of the game. Chambers takes it, heads towards centre half forward. Well read there by Fulton in front. Takes a good safe chest mark.
Pretty good matchup that, isn't it, Fogden on Hicks?
He's in good form last week. Fogden on his 150th. Hasn't played a lot of footy of late, and that was well read.
Ellis thumped the ball forward, set out after it, but McGowan was just terrific in the contest.
That was experience, wasn't it? He just knew the player behind him, got in underneath and earned himself a free kick. And we already see Ricky having a big influence on this game. He loves these conditions in and under, and carrying on from good form from last week.
25-metre penalty. The umpire said that the skipper, Nick Chigwidden, ran across the mark. But I think he anticipated the play on and the umpire hadn't called it.
Did move a little bit, didn't he?
Oh, this is dangerous. He was 75 out with no chance. And now he's within 30 directly in front with a wet ball. It's not an easy kick, but it is kickable.
It certainly is from there. It wasn't beforehand.
So Rick McGowan from 35 was always going to test him, wasn't it? got under it and pushed it to the left. Here comes the defence. Sherwood took a good option and went long. Jamison thumped it down in the direction of Chigwin. He can't quite gather it in. Now it finishes with Borkwell, who goes short on the left. Scotty Lee was the target, but it just went over that player's head. And Burke to the line.
Scotty Lee absolutely livid there, and rightly so. He had 20 yards on his own. He just had to tip it over his head and find him on the chest, and missed him by plenty. That was a very disappointing kick from Borkwell.
Peter Jonas
wouldn't
on
be
screen.
happy with that at all, I don't think.
Could not be happy. Borkwell gets the ruck contest, thumps it down, but look at the congestion. I think the Tigers are working at this.
Certainly forcing the errors, as we've seen on the Central's players. See the weather finding up. It's turning into a good day.
1 point margin favouring the Bulldogs. As you can see, we've played nearly 16-minute mark. Goals are going to be very hard to come by this afternoon.
Notice there the parochial Bulldogs fans who always manage to find themselves in front of the grandstand and create a bit of havoc. Nails, you would have been on the end of a bit of their stick over the time.
Oh, I would have hated playing out here in the early days. Ground was so big. Cook gives it out to the running Hill. Hill moves well, heading up towards centre half forward. The back there, 33, was Gigney. Couldn't take it. But clever enough to get the ball down to Ellis. Ellis goes up forward. McEntee was pushed underneath it. Some good defensive, strong work there by number 45, which is Hopwood. The ball's still alive. It comes back to Daniel. Daniel, which way will he go? He goes across the face of goal. What will the umpire do? Has he played the advantage? I think he has. The chance here for Centrals to bring it down the outer wing. Heads for McGowan. McGowan's got time to set it up. Terrible kick by their captain, Rick McGowan. Or ex-captain Rick McGowan. Come to think, I think Danny Holmes these days. So chance again. Luke Ellis builds it up. Good mark coming out hard. Eyes only for the football. It was Carr. Carr kicks in the man on the mark. Goes back to McGowan. So a chance again for the Bulldogs to build something on this grandstand wing. Arnold, he slows down to a crawl to bounce the football. Then heads towards centre half forward. Now we've got 6 on 1 here. The Tigers should clear this. And they do through Sherwood.
Federer went short to Fogden. Over the top goes Fogden. Ellis underneath this one with the new cropped hair. He looks like a pretty tough fellow. Glenelg seem to be able to build them tough. Kretschmer and Visca. A couple of players missing. Kretschmer, of course, has gone to Western Australia, and Visca still out with injury. And the Tigers will be looking for his return. McGowan threw that one away. Chambers went to the back door. Daniel was the target just inside the line. Can he keep it in? Successfully so. Swatala off one step and bangs it long. Well done in the finish. Raiders brought the ball forward to Chigwinin, who sets up, run through Simon Hill. He's a penetrating kick. He normally uses the ball pretty well. Forward to Bartlett, who got through traffic. Did that so very well, the big Megan, and goes for goal.
Done.
That was a solo effort. Wonderful effort, Bartlett. He gets his first. And Glenelg's second.
Yeah, that's exactly what he'd be looking for. Coach Tony McGuinness from Alan Bartlett hit the ball hard and then just sort of pirouetted out of it, walked and kicked the goal. But it started from Raiders at half-back. He made the commitment to the spoil, brought it forward. Simon Hill got it in quickly, and then Alan Bartlett finished it off. Excellent goal to the Bays.
Just sheer strength there by Alan Bartlett. Broke the tackle, then kicked the goal. So a good start by the Tigers. That's their second. The first to Bartlett as the ball's thrown up again. Federer against with Arnold. Arnold just a little bit too tall for the Bays ruckman this afternoon. Ball's chipped out. Chigwin knocks it further field. Couldn't quite find it. Well done there by Ellis. He takes it, goes up forward. A terrific mark there by McEntee. The player like it to Chad Corns, also his father Graham. He chips it forward to Cook. Cook should not miss this, and he has. Gone for the check side. Terrible play there by the Tigers. That should have been their third.
Just sort of overused it again. Should have gone back and had a shot for goal. It was unnecessary to pass to Cook. He was only 10 metres difference. And that's a wasted opportunity from the base.
It's not easy in these sorts of conditions, though, fellas, be fair.
You just don't think you need to overuse the ball from 20 metres out. A set shot.
Okay. Chambers doing well. Got the ball from Hamblin. Long to Borkwell, who's back up from the reserves after coming back from Carlton, mind you. So his form is not what he would love it to be. Federer had the ball smothered by Borkwell, who is working hard in the opening minutes of this match. Federer, one step and drives it long. Hamlin back underneath that one, couldn't quite complete it. Simon Hill forced the ball forward, but Chigwidden not able to take possession.
Just crucial at Elizabeth Oval with the turnovers here. If your midfielders are running forward, anticipating your side's going to keep the ball, and it's turned over, you can get caught out. And you can get caught out by 100 metres.
South Adelaide
got to use the
yet
ball
to
well.
score. West Adelaide 31, mind you, Nails. You're in trouble, your Panthers.
Oh, their form hasn't been good. And just looking at, must be early stages. West Adelaide really have found a bit of form over the last couple of weeks, being the Magpies last Saturday afternoon.
Central beat them 2 weeks ago, and I think that got Central's season back on track. And then Bulldogs with another good win last week over Sturt.
They really are a confident side, West Adelaide, and beating Port at home, no better way to get an impetus there.
Back to Burke. Now Burke should take this. Thumps it down to centre half forward. Jamison was there, also Chigwidden. Back there looked like Daniel. He takes it over the boundary line. Ball be thrown in.
Very tough player, Daniel. Not much of him, but plays at half-back, really gets beaten, and he's full of courage.
Arnold takes it out of the throw-in. It's kicked around the body. Could be out of bounds in the full it is. So either Burke or Higgins should bring the ball back in. It goes back to Burke. He's got the wet look. Dive for that, trying to save that goal before. He's covered his jumper and also his shorts and socks in wet, muddy water. Kick forward. Good mark out in front again by Carr. So the Bays forward line playing in front have capitalised on doing that by taking a few marks, which is good. These sort of conditions, you must play in front. And they are doing that at this stage of the game.
Yeah, the Crummers have got to get to the front of the packs, and the forwards have just got to make sure they put it there. Got to bring it forward at all costs.
22 minutes gone into the first quarter. Glenelg enjoy a 6-point lead as Gigney handballs the ball wide. Bulldogs' defence has been pretty good so far. Daniel works it out. Geister on the left, but heads towards the boundary line. How will it go? A little long. And the Tigers will take the free kick at left half forward. Jamison, who's already kicked a goal for Glenelg, sets it up to Raiders, who can take off and run, but he props and stops. Just allows the central defence to reset. He had the opportunity to bring it in quickly. There were lots of one-on-one contests. McEntee, big fly. He is dynamic. Byrne, the former Sydney Swans player, around the corner. A little laconic, but in the final analysis, he's kicked a goal. It was a good one, an important one for the Tigers as we prepare to go into quarter time.
They really are playing disciplined footy, Glenelg. You see the ball board in board here. Discipline, got to the front of the pack there. There he was, and snapped it over his shoulder for an excellent goal. And Central Districts really just can't penetrate half forward at the moment.
They're just playing in front at the moment. As I said before, the Tigers forward line are in front and they're taking marks. As we can see, they're leading at the moment by 12 points. Ball's thrown up. Federer up against Arnold. Arnold again gets his hand to the football. Comes down. Ellis can't pick it up. Some good work there. Comes back to Chigwidden. Chigwidden heads to the top of the square. Where's McEntee? He's over the top. Forces the ball to ground, but this time he'll take it. Puts on the Shepherd. The ball's stuck clear. A chance again. The Bays have numbers. Butler should take this. This time can't break the tackle by Daniel. And again in there, looks like the little rover and Chigwidden can't quite get to his feet. Or maybe paid a free kick. He has. The umpires found the free kick to Chigwidden maybe a little bit too high on the little rover. So the captain of the Bays, maybe just beyond him, will kick from 50 metres. Puts it on its way. It's low. Coming across, floating across the top there. Knocking it back over the line was a Raider. So another behind to the Tigers. They're 3-2. They lead Central District 1-1.
Just wonder, Andrew, where Central's are going to get their drive. They're not getting... Their defence has been sound in terms of defending, but they're not attacking.
Can't get it across half forward line. I think full marks to Tony McGuinness here. He's set the Bay players up in the back, play across half back, and they haven't been able to get over there. They're good players of last week. Scott Lee and young Hicks haven't even had a chance to get near the footy today, so that'll be something that Peter Jonas will have to address at quarter time.
Always a very good crowd at Elizabeth Oval. You see some of the hill enjoying the Bulldog refreshments. We are 25 minutes into the first quarter. Loose ball falls. Kelly, who's in the state squad. De Burn, who flicks it out to Jamison. A slick one back to Burn in the double play, and he drills it in short. Gigney was the target out on the lead. Kick was just a little bit too far ahead of him, however. Geister applies enough pressure to force a turnover. And here comes the central side into their forward line. Hicks has come down towards half forward, bringing Fogden with him. And Fogden quite content to go back and across the line. Like the way Stevens charged at that ball.
He did hit it hard. He did hit it hard indeed. But you know, once again we see half-back line there of Glenelg remaining very, very solid.
Ball thrown in. Fetterman puts it to the ground. May receive the free kick. The play, I think, ball caught a little bit too high. Just reaching for that ball as it was thrown in. So a chance here now for Fetterman to set things up. Looking for a moving half-forward line. He goes in the direction of Bartlett. Bartlett out of the contest. Ball's brought to ground. Out of bounds once again.
Just see there Rod Jamison just encouraging his teammates. He absolutely is relishing this role of almost playing a loose man, and Tony McGuinness has obviously given him the leadership responsibilities that he deserves, and he's just lapping it up at the moment.
Bartlett in ruck, takes it out. He's playing well for the Tigers. The kick was smothered. Brenton Daniel over the top of it. Gets claimed by Carr. Goes to ground, and yet again another bounce.
A little bit lucky there. I think he had an opportunity to get rid of the ball, and they just pounced upon him.
Umpire Richard Fox with the ball will set the ruckman in motion. Bartlett. But it's Jamison who wins it. Holm just sitting back off the ruck contest, picks up the loose ball and goes wide. It's landed right on the line. Oh no, it's landed out, said the umpire, and out of bounds on the full.
Scott Lee disappointed there. I mean, he had no chance of marking that at all. I mean, the ball needs to be much quicker, much lower and much more direct.
Burke to Jamison. Jamison's finding plenty of the ball. Looking to impress, and a 25-metre penalty. As the siren sounds, it's quarter time with Glenelg. Andrew leading by 13 points, and to be fair, doing most of the attacking.
Yeah, they certainly did, and in all honesty, they probably missed a couple of opportunities going forward there. They could have led by a little bit more, but they certainly had all of the play. They ran pretty hard from defence across half-back there, and they made the most of their opportunities. But
Jamo's going for a shot, fellas. He reckons he's within distance. He must be 75 metres out. But we know Rod Jamison, he can kick a football a country mile. The big torpedo is on its way. It's got to about 60 metres. Unfortunately, has fallen short. So we see the quarter-time scores there. Elizabeth Way will see Central Districts. They're 117. Glenelg at 3 goals, 220. And you're watching it live and exclusive to ABC Sport.
Stay with us for the second quarter. It's Glenelg versus Central District. Your commentators are Andrew Pays with Mark Daly.
Umpire throwing the ball up again. Arnold just too tall, gets his hand down to McGowan. He goes wide, looking for the running Stevens. Stevens punched the balls up forward, coming out hard over top. What a fantastic mark that was to McArdle. Threw himself over the top of the pack. Just see there, Andrew Lee just putting enough pressure on there, giving it McArdle just a metre to be able to lunge himself at that ball and take a great mark.
Held his opponent out, didn't he? And it gave him an opportunity to jump at the footy, and jump at it he certainly did. What a great catch.
There really is, David, some exciting young players or forward line players in the competition. We saw McEntee last week. We've seen a couple. We had Matthews a couple of games ago, also at Woodville Oval. Another one here, McArdle. He puts it on its way. It's not a very good kick. So don't wrap the player too much, Mr. Nailey. I'll let you down. Ducking his head, trying to get out of that was Byrne. Goes towards, again, Burke, who's picking up a lot of possessions this afternoon. Goes down the wing. Coming across hard is a solidly built Ellis around his body. The kick wasn't good, ill-directed, and finds Swatala.
At least you were polite in your criticism and calling yourself Mr. Nailey, so you're on the way back.
Old man might be a bit better. As big fly from Arnold, he feeds it out the back door. And look at this. That's a mark. He's going to claim it, and the umpire's paid it. Plonkin says it hit the ground.
Wouldn't have known what would have happened with that ball anyway. You couldn't see it. It could have gone 6 feet underground, but he disguised it very well. I don't reckon it touched the ground. He had it there. That's a great catch. Well done.
The umpire was in the right position right at the front as Damien Hicks just reeled that one in. It was an important one.
Another player, Dave, also coming back from injury, but he is a very versatile player. You can play him virtually anywhere. Centre half forward, full forward, in the middle of the ground, half back, flank, and full back as well.
I've always believed his two best positions are full forward and full back.
So do I.
And now a chance to bring the Bulldogs just that little step closer as he leans over the top of it and guides it forward, but he's missed.
Now you realise then, I just agreed with you for the first time, I think, in 3 years of commentary.
Well, that won't happen again.
Yeah, that'll be the last time.
And
Just
don't
wasted that
happen
opportunity.
My credibility will be shot to pieces.
Just got to break these two up here, ladies and gentlemen.
Good
Fisticuffs already in the stand.
Hamlin really has impressed me, but it's come across the hill. Hill goes towards Jamison. He can't get this player 5 or 10 metres free. He will murder you. He's a very talented player, especially at this level, is Rod Jamison. Ellis comes up with it, heads towards centre half forward. Playing from behind was Gigney. Heads it out to Cook. Now, Cook's been quiet. He's tackled well. And Daniel's an exciting player as well. I'd like this kid. He is good. He is solid. Not much of him, but he's tough and hard at the football.
He certainly is. Many a time I've stood on him, and he certainly makes your day very, very hard. Grabs hold of you, knees you, punches you, squirrel grips you.
Hey.
You get the whole lot.
Ken Sheldon just a couple
But he
of
does
years
it all
ago.
fairly.
Yeah. Roger Girdham, former Bulldog skipper and runner, now on the match committee.
Yeah, what a great player he was for Centrals too. Had a year off and then came back, and I think he broke his leg, didn't he?
Right at the start of the season.
So he's obviously enjoying getting involved in the coaching caper up here at Elizabeth, having his input with the Central District
It's actually called retirement.
Well, you should know
Allowed
all
to say
about it.
that
You've been
word.
out of the game for that long.
Have you found it? I remember my first 12 months, 12, 18 months, it was terrible. It was the worst 12 months of my life.
I must admit, it hasn't been the worst 12 months of my life, but when you've got the good day and the blue skies and not much wind, you're tempted to run out there. But on a day like that, it's not too bad. He's sipping on a coffee and just enjoying the footy and having a good look at this wonderful spectacle.
Chigwidden around the corner to McEntee was the target. Daniel just ran interference. I guess nails the reason that retirement was so unhappy for you. You didn't have anything else to go to. Paisy, of course, is a multi-millionaire financier.
Oh.
I don't know about that, but certainly very enjoyable sitting up here in between you two burly fellas, keeping me warm.
Bartlett, you'll be selling used cars if you keep that up. McArdle gathered when Watts at the umpire. No,
Free kick.
advantage.
Holding on. He's played the advantage as well, David.
Fair enough. Holm. Short. Chambers out on the lead. There's a real go of this kid. Tough and hard at it all the time. Lillico, the
He's
target.
served the apprenticeship, hasn't he, Chambers? He's spent time in reserves, nothing. They played the advantage, no, 25 metres. No, look, just quickly on Chambers, he served the apprenticeship. He's been down, he's spent his time on the bench. He's had spurts on and off the ground over the last, say, 12, 18 months. And now he's just starting to establish himself as a regular contributor.
Lillico, who put the ball in when Hicks last marked and went for goal, pushes it in again. McGowan just forced it forward. Daniel, can he hold it just inside the line? He did pretty well, didn't he? Protected the ball and came back and scored a great goal. That is a team lifter.
Fantastic. We're just singing his praises as a tough, hard, aggressive defender, but just showing that he's got the fitness and the poise to run hard. Only kicked 5 goals in his career. That's his 6th. There he is sneaking down. Did the hard thing, kept the ball in play and snapped it over his shoulder.
That's a good pickup you've just picked up. He's only kicked 5 goals. I would have thought he would have kicked a lot more given the type of game he plays.
No, and I think you'll find that he's kicked most of those goals playing from the back pocket or half back. I mean, I've rarely seen him with a stint forward. What a team lifter, David.
Tony McGuinness has made some changes. We may go down to Michael Parsons just quickly.
Changed over their centre half forwards. Gigney's come off and Todd Winstanley going to patrol that critical forward position for a little while.
What are the conditions like down there at ground level, Michael?
Yes, mate, the wind's dropped out, so very still day now. Still obviously wet underfoot, but not a bad day for footy. And as Tony McGuinness said, the workers will get the reward today.
It's so true. Those who are prepared to do the hard things this afternoon, we call them the 1%ers, will come out on top. Cook's here. He's tackled greatly there by Marco Bello. Forces the error across us with Tala. So Tala will go up further afield. Overrunning that football there was Volkwell. Jamison, cool as a cucumber. Heads it across to Burke. Now, long handball, the sweeping handball didn't find his target in Higgins. It found Fogden, who was there to support. Now, again, we'll see Jamison over the line, fella. He does that. And that's a bit of experience.
Yeah, he needed to do that, but that was just a bit of overuse of the footy. You can't afford those long raking handballs in wet weather. The ball doesn't carry, doesn't go quick enough, and it doesn't penetrate, and a short kick might have been the better option there.
So it's a 6-point ball game in favour of the Tigers at home. The Bulldogs really have struggled in recent weeks, and Scotty Lee misses from point-blank range, but under pressure.
Yeah, that's all he needed to do, just put him under pressure there, and he'd be spewing about that because he would have rated himself a chance to nail that one and get back to his goal-kicking form of last week.
Oh, the evergreen Scotty Lee.
36 he is coming up. Not a bad effort, nearly as old as you, Nails.
Well, he was going to retire a couple of years ago when the Bulldogs were beaten in that grand final. He's hung around now. His ambition in life, they tell me, was to play up forward before he retires now.
We can't be far
Coach
away then
Jones
because he's certainly playing up forward now, but true testament to him. He's still going, had an excellent career with the Adelaide Crows and still contributing week in, week out for Central Districts.
Borkwell was clever over the top to McGowan, who's 45 out and closing. He just takes 2 steps steady. That's a big one. That is a big one. Daniel's got a team lifter and McGowan follows it up with another.
Yeah, he read it beautifully, didn't he? I mean, it was almost like a set play. He took off before, found the space, straight over the top it was from Borkwell. I reckon there would have been a nudge, wink, wink before that. And then we know the good finisher that Ricky McGowan is. Drills it from 35 out. Started well, the Doggies.
Well, 12 possessions to McGowan. A great start in this game. The Doggies are up by 1 point. So a good start to the second quarter. It's down once again. 21 plays 20. Bello throws it on the boot. Again, we see playing out in front was Hicks. Hicks goes wide. Going back, great defensive work there by Hill. Burke's in there, he's tackled brilliantly there by the Bulldogs forward line. They go for the safety of the boundary line, does the defence for the Tigers. And again, we'll see the ball thrown in.
I just noticed there, David, Central District's winning the ball out of the middle 3 or 4 times this quarter. I think that's the difference.
Well, Big Arnold, he's just too tall. But you just have to play the smart football in the middle of the ground. They're centre line with Kelly and also Chick Whidden in there. Just need to be able to follow his hand.
Heel, off hands. Hicks took front position. That's Joe Hicks, who we featured at quarter time. Cook goes forward. Chick Whidden was the target. Bustling work deep in defence. And the umpire comes in and indicates that he'll have a bounce. Umpire Kevin Chambers.
This is a terrific game. It really is. Just considering the conditions, David, this is a fantastic game of football.
Certainly is. Interesting move. Peter Jonas has got Arnold actually running with Rod Jamison. So he's had an influence in the middle there in the rucking, but in the around the ground play, he's actually running with Rod Jamison, who'd be about 6 foot. So that'll be interesting to see if he can keep up with him.
Bartlett will continue to do the ruck work in the Glenelg forward line. Structurally, they look pretty good, the Tigers. Bartlett did pretty well, forced it down. Kelly missed it, went clean through. Daniel, quick flick, Joe Hicks on the left boot. It's a torpedo to half forward to his brother Damien, who's unsettled by Fogden. Fogden's playing pretty well. It's a dead even battle, that one. Higgins goes forward, Byrne around the corner. It's a high ball towards Bartlett and Joe Hicks. Bartlett front position. Joe Hicks was very good. Chick Whidden thumps it forward. Jamison, well, he didn't quite get to the contest, and the umpire's blown the whistle.
Yeah, no, that was not on. I mean, you just tore 2 committed players hard at the footy. None of them took their eye off the ball. Why would that be a free?
Oh, ridiculous, but we'll get back to the game. The game's good enough to go on. It's gone wide. Well done there by Win Stanley. Comes up with the football, favoured by the bounce, goes back. Swatala, who's picking up Chick Whidden at the moment, going with Chick Whidden. So Coach Jonas just realised the importance of the Glenelg captain. Just playing a bit of a run-with role.
Would have been the other way around.
Well, he's always going to take you to the footy, Chicky. Rarely plays a bad game.
Comes across to Stevens. Now Jamison standing the mark. Goes over the top to Stevens, to Arnold. So very hard to keep up with the movement here at Elizabeth Oval with both coaches. Geister running down the field, kicks the ball up. Higgins comes across and intercepts. In fact, it was Kelly. Comes down to McGowan, and McGowan has time on his side, looking for a lead up forward. It goes in long. Scotty Lead will be the player contesting the mark. Couldn't bring it down to ground. Raiders is in there. Now, I've been impressed with this player over the last couple of weeks in Raiders. The mark wasn't paid. Did fall down. He should play against the Glenelg player. He does that. Lindsay Smith just penalised there, Andrew, just for hanging on for too long.
Yeah, good tackle though. Held him up very well.
The real problem is that Lindsay Smith was looking for Kelly. He thought Kelly was coming, but Kelly was injured in the midfield and wasn't coming anywhere near him. And that was the problem, as Federer, who's playing a terrific game today for Glenelg, short to Kelly, will have a bit of a look at him. He is proper.
He just looks so tired already, doesn't he?
He copped a heavy knock, and you just worry about whether that'll keep him out of the state game next week. Byrne, who's been very impressive in the opening part of the season for the Tigers. Higgins went forward, but the kick was Australian. Arada, welcome return to the Bulldogs line-up for Arada. Swatala wide. Scotty Lee forced the ball to ground, doing pretty well. Back defensively, it was McArdle, now Lillico. Lillico, a high bomb into the half-forward zone. It worked, didn't it?
Played in front.
So Hicks was running forward.
Got to be in front. The quick ball coming in forward. Well done by Hicks.
And drills it long and low. Fogden, Borkwell, there's been a move. Joe Hicks down. Releases it to Borkwell, who goes for goal, and it's coming back. Oh, the goal umpire says it's a point. But a goal there would have been an important one for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, they're running the Dogs. They're running from defence, and they're playing to team instruction. They're playing in front. You just saw there Scotty Lee and Borkwell. He just tapped it down, got it to him, and then he got himself another chance. Just see the young fella on the phone there, communicating with the coach McGuinness, and obviously needs to brush up in a few areas, just getting a few instructions.
Ball's kicked in, a 2-point margin now to Centrals. Good kick there, well positioned, good option comes into Higgins. Kick from Raiders. Higgins just going back. Now players on, known players staying the mark. He goes over the top of McGowan now, runs around him, ran his distance. Did Higgins. Once again, the lead was forward by Stanley. It was ignored. And his player marks it, comes across to Daniel. Daniel goes wide. Out there also was number 43 and Luke Ellis. Coming up with it, 41 is Chambers. Chambers goes around his body. They have the numbers and the space here. Oh! Borkwell misses a mark he should have taken. It was on his chest. In these sort of conditions, that should have been taken. The umpire's going to pay a free kick. I think it will go back. No, it does. He plays the advantage. The Tigers favoured. Comes into Cook. Cook heads up towards Bartlett. Coming out first again, reading the football really well as a Raider. So he's starting to find the football, is Brian Arada. It's level, he kicks it down the line, but his kick wasn't good also. The football's very heavy. Well, the skills aren't good this afternoon. So there's a fair bit of pressure out there. Again, the kick wasn't good. Scotty Lead going back, nearly takes a second grab, and the mark comes back to Swatala. Swatala comes inboard and finds Arnold.
Arnold wide to Joe Hicks running, trying to set up some run from the Bulldog defence. Little nudge.
Pretty obvious, can't afford to do that.
Borkwell seems to be
How
down
could he
on
have dropped the ball then with that mark? He just spent it before he got it beforehand. You just can't afford to do that.
Look, confidence is a funny old thing, isn't it? Because you don't lose ability, you lose confidence. And Borkwell clearly is running on empty at the moment.
He's just come back into the side. He's been involved in a few good plays, but had a great opportunity there.
Arnold off the ground to half forward. Chambers drills it wide. It's heading towards the boundary line. Federer, Hicks off the ground, did pretty well soccer style. Just opens it up for Marco Bello around the corner. A clever snap. It's coming back, but not far enough. And it'll just go across the line and out of play. Another matches around town this afternoon. Port and North. Well, that's an interesting one, isn't it? Scores locked
Can't
away.
get any closer than that.
And West Adelaide demoralising South Adelaide.
They really are playing confidently, the Bloods, and South Adelaide, they're just carrying on from last week. They are a side way down in confidence.
You lose your money again, Nails?
Well, I just want to say on the way out here this afternoon, David, what did I say? I said North Adelaide got their best side, and I reckon they will really push Port Adelaide this afternoon, which we can see at this stage of the game. It's only early days.
I don't remember saying that.
I actually did hear him say that they would be dead level at about the 15-minute mark of the second quarter. And you pulled out a grey nurse and said put $100 on it. So I'm going to split him for 50.
Do that.
Hamlin, short, missed Bello. Coming out
good
was
tackle.
Burke, and beautifully tackled by Scotty Lee. Loose ball falls, the umpires allowing the game to flow on. Lillico gathers it to Carr for the Tigers, and Heel just wrap up Lillico. He's not going anywhere. We'll have another bounce.
Great tackle there from the old fella. Feature of his game for a long, long time.
Glenelg have been inside their 50-metre line once Central's 11th time this quarter. The Bulldogs are dominating this second quarter. Elizabeth Oval, big fly was up. McArdle couldn't bring it down. Higgins tried to peer away out of trouble, but Holm got him. McArdle needs support, doesn't get it. He got a Shepherd, however. Around the corner and deep in the pocket at Scotty League. Over the top goes the handball, quickly done. Holm swings back on the left boot, but no result. It ricochets and shapes. Where's that gone? Where has that gone?
I think it's back on the main North Road.
It's out of bounds on the full.
It's landed in the hot dog stand, but what a comedy of errors there. Central did everything right. They just tried to keep it in the area. They had options there, but in the end just couldn't finish off. Borkle there, obviously paying the price for a couple of those costly errors on the outer side, and he's just having a sit.
He's down on form at the moment as Andrew Borkle. The ball thumped in the direction of the Tigers. Cook challenges Stevens in the aggression stakes. Comes off second best. The Bay's still able to take the chicken. You need to fly. He does that. A good mark by the little fella. Love to see a Rover get up and take a big mark like that. Kelly comes through the middle of the ground. Heads up towards centre half forward. Good work again. Terrific hands there by Hicks. Goes wide. Now Daniel very clever. Oh, the kick wasn't good. Finds Cook. A chance here for the Tigers to set up and do McEntee. Oh, young kid, he's exciting, isn't he? What's your thoughts, Dave, on this young lad?
On a DNA test, I reckon he looks like Cornsey.
He does, doesn't he?
But he plays like him too. And I like him. His mum and dad will hate me for saying that, by the way. We don't really believe that. But he is an exciting, fast-leading, high-flying prospect.
Socks down, jumper out. Benjamin McEntee comes inside 50, puts it high up towards the big white sticks. Just off direction. Another behind to the Tigers.
Kicks like Cornsey.
Now that's their first score for the quarter, fellas.
You should leave it there, David. He's certainly playing very well in his own right, as we saw last week. But the ball came in very quickly, a fast lead. And he did well to take the catch. Couldn't finish off, though.
Joe Hicks, deep in defence for the Bulldogs. Now that's the second occasion that Glenelg have gone into their forward 50 this quarter, so dangerous signs for the Tigers as Central start to claw themselves back into this match and in fact get on top. Hamblin had this ball smothered by Jamison. The Kelly handball was pretty ordinary in the final wash. No pressure, it missed its target.
It's slippery.
It is slippery. I think you've got to give the players that understanding. It is very tough out there as Chambers takes it like a dry ball, drives towards half forward. Fogden did well to spoil from behind. Here comes Stevens and Lillico, but Higgins had a beautiful sit. Now he needs to use it and does so successfully to Hill on the grandstand wing.
Hill. The kick's not good. He goes up forward. Chance here now for 23 and James Byrne. His kick wasn't good also. Oh, play's taken high. The umpire has called play on. The supporters won't be happy with this if this goes through for a major. It has! Toddy Winstanley, that's his first or his second. It's his first for the afternoon. Oh, wait till the reaction of the Bulldog supporters. The umpires missed the obvious free kick.
I thought he played for that one a little bit. There was nothing in. He just grabbed his head, and that'd be a case where Jonas would be very, very unhappy. Glenelg were there in numbers, snapped it on the left foot and kicked a goal, and that was just what the Bays needed.
Well, the two big fingers go up, but oh no, taken high. He was taken high. Free kick should have been paid. Umpire was there on the spot, just missed that one.
Haven't seen him change their mind before, but never mind.
Glenelg regained the lead. Arnold again. Down to McGowan, back to Arnold in the double play, but the kick was uncomfortable. Stevens. Tackled, dispossessed, now it's Ellis. Releasing the ball forward to Raiders, who's playing a cracking game for the Tigers, running hard, but the kicking has been somewhat astray. Into space he goes. Hereda committed himself. Carr came hard at him, but Daniel releases Hereda. Over the top goes the handball. Further still, they're working this out pretty well. Hicks short. And you just look at the way Centrals are building, Andrew. From defence, when they run it quickly, they look pretty good.
It really is a ground where you need to run. I mean, with the ground of such size, you need to penetrate the lines with leg power.
Now, I had to say this, but I just think at the moment, Todd Winstanley, I think who's picking up number 19 there in the Raider, who's running free, just not working hard enough. A couple of chances there. He just pushed across before. Didn't work hard enough, Winstanley. You see him go forward once again. Big Arnold puts it on his boot, goes up. This mark should be taken by McArdle. He does that. He's paid the free kick. He lifted to his feet by his teammates. Maybe just take a little bit high as he took that
He
mark.
definitely controlled that for long enough, didn't he?
Not
If
much
it
in
wasn't
that.
the mark, it was certainly paid the free kick anyway. But Arnold's really starting to have an influence, not only on the centre bounces, but also around the ground as well. And his preparedness to work is paying real dividends for his side at the moment.
Arnold, we just see Arnold's statistics there up to this stage of the game. He's had 6 marks, so that's a good effort alone, but he's also had 10 possessions. McArnold comes in, puts it on its way. It's a beautiful kick. So he got the distance, not quite. The accuracy was good. Ball thumped back into play. Marco Bello runs over the top. This will allow the Glenelg defenders to clear the football. Back up there again, coming out hard. The game was Hicks. Just keeps it in front of him. And the ball's seen out over the line by Alan Bartlett. Tremendous game of football. 22 plays 27. The Bays just hang on to this margin of 5 points.
As the ball comes back in, Jamison thumps it down. There's an infringement behind to the umpire. Cook just shepherded out Arnold, and the umpire was right on the spot. So a 5-point margin as Arnold takes the ball from the outer wing. A high ball towards centre-half forward, one-on-one contest. Federman was good. Thumped it down. Higgins goes to ground. Hicks claimed him and just wraps the ball up.
To see here, David, both sides, neither can get an advantage at the moment, and we just know just before half-time how important it is to get a bit of momentum, and both sides will be looking to get a quick goal here.
It's a bit of an arm wrestle, isn't it? Kelly through. Federman releases the ball backwards. Raiders. Probably his best game for a long time for the Tigers. Arnold thumped it forward. Sujai Cook releases it forward. Clever handball. Higgins running hard. He's playing pretty well for the Tigers defence as well. A high ball towards half forward. No mark taken there. Winstanley. But short Hopwood. Oh, look, it's all come unstuck and it's gone straight back to Winstanley. Jamison. And into space. McEntee was the target, but the kick was just a little wide.
Winstanley's had an influence since he's come on.
He's been an impact player, hasn't he?
Came on and kicked a goal, and we just see here creating a bit of havoc at centre-half forward, so he'll be doing everything that Tony would be asking of him. Glenelg by 5 points here, and with an opportunity to get another goal just before half-time in their pocket.
I'm going to argue there. I just don't think Winstanley's doing enough. He's just not working hard enough. He's had a couple of lucky ones there before. His goal was a bit of luck involved there. That free kick should have been paid to the Central District's player.
No such thing as
and
luck,
also the kick then. That was an awful
the harder
kick.
you work, the luckier you get. That's what they tell us.
He's just back to his old self. I was starting to worry that he was agreeing with us earlier.
Mr. Grumpy again.
No, it's
I just want to see him do more.
Welcome back,
At the moment, a Raider it really is controlling centre-half back.
I thought we had an imposter here earlier. He was agreeing with everybody. But it's good to see we haven't lost him.
No, that was something in that coffee that he swigged on beforehand. Just washed it down.
Swatala comes up with the football now. Kicks across the face of goal to a player here by himself and Stevens. Takes one bounce. Will have the luxury of taking 2, possibly 3 if he needs to. Now gets into second gear. Puts it on the right boot. Comes out wide. Over the top will be Burke. He thumps the ball to ground. McEntee out of his ground here. He's well down the field. Taken high. The umpire's missed that free kick. Hill can't get to his feet. He's got hold of the football. The district boys, they're on top. And make sure Simon Hill, state squad player.
It's well done to create a contest down on the wing there for a forward. He chased his man down, and that was good to see.
So to half-time here at Elizabeth Oval. It's Glenelg by 5 points, Andrew. And I guess the challenge really is for one side to break this game open in the second half, but it is a real arm wrestle with neither side giving an inch at the moment.
We expected that, didn't we? I mean, both sides have certainly been in good form of late. And we see Glenelg, they got over South Adelaide last week, and Central District had an excellent win, so we expected nothing less. And the tackling's been good, and the contest around the ground has been excellent. And I just thought Central started to win the ball out of the middle there a bit, but on the scoreboard couldn't gain a real ascendancy. So be interesting to see what moves are made at half-time.
So at half-time at Elizabeth Oval, the scores are Central District 3-4-22, trailing Glenelg 4 goals 3-27. The margin is 5 points. Stay with us. We're into the third quarter of the match between Central District and Glenelg.
Yes, 3-4-22 plays 4-3-27 with the Bays still hanging on to that slender lead. The Bulldogs go forward. Good kick up, trying to find Hicks there, couldn't take it. Comes back, number 16 there is Sherwood, who started centre-half back. He pushes the ball now wide. Fetterman should take this, takes one grab and pushes it out of the line, just holding the back of his head. Still, the chance there for the Bulldogs, gone missing. Great crowd here this afternoon. The conditions maybe might have put a few off, but I think after that first quarter and the blue skies did appear, a few players have come out, or a few supporters have come out and come along to witness this live action here at Elizabeth Oval.
I think it's been pretty surprising how the ground's actually chopped up, and we haven't had any wet weather at all, but if you get down close and have a look at the ground, it really is quite muddy, and the ball would be very heavy, and as a consequence, the skills haven't been as sharp as what we've been used to seeing.
I was a little bit closer to the ground than what Michael Parsons was, but I was down there just then. I walked out there with my son. We just noticed there's a fair bit of water on the actual oval itself. It doesn't look like it from up here or on TV. There's a fair bit of moisture still floating around. So the ball's kicked over the shoulder. Mark should be taken. Here it is. And McArdle takes a good mark. Fairly tight angle here. If he kicks this, the Bulldogs will go back in front.
What do you do there? Do you kick the check side, or do you go for the drop punt, Nails?
What would I do?
You'd probably look to pass it off, but...
Well, I was a bit of a glamour boy. I used to like the crowd. Played them a little bit. They paid their money to get in each Saturday. You had to perform, so the old check side kicked the goal from this angle. Used to bring the house down.
Calling yourself an entertainer now.
It's a good kick. McArdle, he's happy with it. How was he done? One finger goes up. Unfortunately, behind.
Perhaps the check side option might have been the way to go there.
Well,
David, you're a left footer.
Well, David was a good full forward, they tell me. It was long before my time. I was still in nappies when he was playing on the MCG.
But you're still in nappies. But
oh, dear me. Mark Daly, you're at your best today. Comments Mark Daly. His car skirts around the back of the pack, releases it to Hill. In turn, Jamison. The Tigers are building from defence. They're not charging forward like Central were. Fogden, now Byrne, cuts back inboard. Held the ball, but just a little too long.
Big oval. Really need either side. They need to just run more and penetrate the lines. They're just bombing it in at the moment to either end, and need to show some leg power here and try and break the game open.
Fogden flicks it to the back door. McGowan, a long one towards centre forward. Scotty Lee, 2 bites of the cherry. He's got it.
Good catch. Good kick from McGowan. Brought it in quickly, and Scotty Lee just kept the ball in front of him there and had another bite of the cherry. And he's got himself a chance to line up for his first goal today after 5 last week.
You won't see them any tougher than this fellow. Low stats today, but he can have an impact in the second half, and he's opened pretty well. Right through the middle, and the Bulldogs are back in front.
Second kick for the day, very interesting. We just saw in the first quarter he was absolutely starved of opportunities. And you could see that he just wanted to get into the play, and he certainly did that in the second quarter, but very, very low stats for him.
Alistair Burke's been running off him.
He has played well, Burke, and that was a great kick from Scotty Lee. To give the side a lot of confidence.
It's good to see a lot of past players here. The old Central District players have been here for a number of years. They're back to see the boys and support them well. It's good to see.
Look like they could play today. They're that fit.
Quick kick forward again. Good exchange of handballs. Good fake and weave around the players coming out hard. McEntee from behind takes it, tries to knock the ball up to Cook. He couldn't take it. Comes in again as McEntee. Out hard, a little quick give inside as Byrne. The ball's loose. McEntee again will go for it. Hasn't got that much pace. Ball's chipped forward again. Coming through hard now is Ricky Hull, who's come on in the second half. As we saw him last week, fellas, he was pretty dynamic when he did come on. Did a couple of special things that resulted in a couple of goals there for the Tigers.
He came on and kicked 3 after half-time and really was the difference between the two sides. Glenelg last week was sort of kept down to South Adelaide's level, if you like, and really only played 20 minutes of footy and broke the game open and won by 5 goals.
Excuse me, down to South Adelaide's level?
Yes, they just played very, very defensive footy. I mean, you agree with that. They tackled hard, but never looked like winning it last week. Glenelg turned it on for 20 minutes and had the result.
You never criticise the Panthers when Mark Nally's around. Oh, there's a good snap for goal. There's a great snap. It's Bartlett on the left boot, but we don't see him kick too many on his left boot, and that's his second.
AB, that's a good goal by him. That's his second, wasn't it, David? Good goal by big Alan Bartlett.
He's played pretty well today, Andrew, hasn't he?
He's done a couple of very important things. Just, we see here he tapped it down to his teammate and gets it back. He's done everything. So he's showing his versatility there, and there's a classy shot for goal on his left foot. So puts the Bays back in front again.
Evenly matched of these two sides. We see 4-5-29 plays Glenelg, 5-3-33. So the Tigers back in front. Going up Fogden, who's been moved into the ruck to try to curtail Arnold's influence in that first half. Good, just quick kick forward again. The Tigers forward players playing in front, and they receive the results. Kick up, McEntee comes out. He should gobble this up. Got his hands on it, couldn't quite get there. Good work by Geister from behind. In there again is Geister and McEntee. Oh, dodging the weave there by McGowan was outstanding. The ball goes in their direction now. Chance for the Tigers through Kelly. Just a little quick kick over the top. Couldn't find his player. Cleverly done there by Ellis. No real pressure applied. Ellis goes to the top of the square. There's a ball come back. I think it may have. McEntee's in there. Geister thumps it. Goes to the second hit. Finally forces the rush behind.
Quite happy to see it go over the line there with a tennis serve. But Glenelg once again doing some attacking there from half forward and a bit of clever, tricky play. Nearly resulted in a goal there.
Geister. Target is upward over his head and Ellis's head. McGowan cleverly pirouettes away, gives it to Daniel, measures the kick, but it really wasn't a well-placed kick because Kelly just jumped in front and took a relieving mark. Now he uses the ball forward. Holm intercepted, just forces the ball to ground. This is where Glenelg need a lift. Hopwood forward, across half forward. They're just not running and creating spaces. The Tigers explode away. Burke drills it long and low when Stanley the target. Ricky Hall overruns the ball, then recovers. Concedes a little bit of ground with the handball. Heel back towards centre half forward. Chigwitten was the target. Underneath it, he's pushed, and the umpire said it's in the back.
Fair enough too. He stood his ground there, kept his eye on the ball all the way, nicking Chigwitten, and earned himself a free kick. I don't think it was too much about that. He was a little bit zealous, the Central District's defender.
Heath Hopwood-Nail said that he had his eye on the ball, ump.
I think he needs to go and watch the replay come Monday night, or even tomorrow if they can get a copy of it.
1 and 3, very, very quiet day for Nicky Chigwitten. He's been well held. He's normally right up.
Sutala held him in the first half.
Normally right up in the 25-30 stats.
So Chiggy from 35 out, misses to the left.
No, he's not happy.
Just opportunities then gone begging there, and a little bit outside his distance, but certainly a very kickable goal.
6 point margin. Geister brings the ball back in. It's over the top. Not a very good kick there. Put his player in fair bit of pressure. Over the top to Hill. Hill has time. He puts the ball to the top of the square. Where's McArdle? Coming over the backs when Stanley couldn't take it. Hall is collared and put to the ground there.
Now I noticed, Nails, you didn't have a Glenelg player in your state team.
Well, it's a little bit hard. I mean, Hill hasn't been in outstanding form.
They're sitting second on the ladder. They've obviously got some good players.
Well, Rouvre's out. He's in the squad. Simon Hill and Richard Kelly. I think Kelly's maybe just past his use-by date. I shouldn't really say. It's a bit hard on him. You know, as far as state football is concerned, he's contributing at this level, but I just think that's a next step. It's the next level. I just think Kelly, with all his injuries over the year, just looking at him now, he just doesn't quite look 100% fit.
I think his form's been reasonable in the last 2 weeks, but he's playing in a position where there's just a lot of other options. And, I mean, you really can't afford to leave out the Daniel Holmes and the Crouchers, the Adam Pearces, and Richard Kelly falls into that mould. I don't think he's past his use-by date.
At that level?
No, not at all. I mean, he's probably not as fit as what he could be, but he's certainly been playing pretty well of late, and he won't be far off.
Casserly
next week when they pick the side.
Casserly on the field. Might just talk to Michael Parsons how he snuck on. Oh, Hicks, that was very clever. Good judgment, just couldn't quite complete the grab. Under pressure from Sherwood. Now it's Lillico and Higgins. That's been a great battle today between those two players. I think honours are shared so far in the match, but there's a fair way to go as Higgins comes across the face. Oh, well done, Ellis. He made that play because Daniel would have marked 30 metres out on a very slight angle. Ellis uses it intelligently. Byrne flicks it off to Jamison. Switches the direction of play and a long kick forward. Bartlett was the target. It dropped short of him. Scotty Lee goes around the corner and into space. Well, here's a test of courage. Hey! Sherwood wanted it.
certainly did want the ball. Ricky McGowan thought it was going to go way over his head there, and the Glenelg player just chipped in and took the mark, uncontested.
Just a quick question while we've got a little bit of time. The future now, Rod Jamieson, brought up 1 week to fill a hole because of injuries. Players come back. Now they've got a lot of injuries, the Adelaide Crows. All of a sudden, Jamieson dropped for the second week.
I think the writing is on the wall in terms of that they've just lost a little bit of faith in Rod. His form for Glenelg has been excellent, and didn't get a lot of opportunities last week. Kicked a goal, but it wasn't long before he was off the ground, and now we see him back here at Glenelg the week after. So you wonder about the future of his AFL career.
I think he's been a wonderful player for them, but I think since the grand final 2 years ago when he went off with an injury, I think he just seemed to have lost favour. Or perhaps the confidence of the selectors, more importantly, and he seems to be going the way that Sean Tasker went in and out, and then out.
Lee, ground level. Nobody comes in to put any pressure on him. Gives it back to McGowan. McGowan around his body. Goes up. The mark nearly taken a fingertipper there. Good effort by Lilico. Oh, Casserly wants to ask the question to the umpire. The umpire won't answer it. Won't even question.
One last point on Gemmo. I still think he's good enough for another 2 or 3 years
at this level.
At AFL level. No, he's a versatile player. I don't know that you can buy versatility.
Yes, he certainly he may be able to play at that level for another 2 years, but you just wonder if that was the case. Why isn't he getting a game week in, week out with the Adelaide Crows at the moment when his form's been so good? So you just wonder about his opportunities are going to be limited.
The premiership team, for goodness sake. There's 15 other teams who'd want him.
No question about that. It's just that he probably didn't play as big a role in that final as what he would have liked and the coach would have liked.
As we go back to play, we are 12 minutes into the third quarter of this match between Central District and Glenelg. The margin is 6 points in favour of Glenelg, and we hope you're enjoying this throughout South Australia and the Northern Territory. McGowan to Hamlin was very slick. The Hamlin kick was wide. The target was Damien Hicks, just bounces in front of him. Sherwood did very well to paddle it down and keep the ball in front of him. Jamieson, the player we've malingered about, over the top. Higgins claimed Jamieson. Hicks got him, and the umpire said he had the opportunity, and he pushed the hand into the face. It's a free kick to Hicks.
It's a good tackle. No doubt about that one at all.
It was either too high or was going to be holding the ball. Either way, he's come up with it. Up forward again. Good ball from behind by Raiders. The chance here, Danny Holm. Oh, could be the next state captain for the SANFL boys. The flags are waving behind the goals. The umpire flushes his way through the puddle and puts up 2 fingers. Danny Holm, that's his first major for the afternoon, and scores a level at this stage of the game. 13-minute mark into this third quarter.
Showed good poise there, the tough man. He realised the importance of the goal, just took that extra step to steady and then made sure he drilled it. Wasn't a great-looking kick off the boot, but nevertheless, he knew what he had to do. He knew he had to kick the goal for the Dogs, and that's put them right back in the hunt. Well done to the captain.
Danny Holm, the Bulldog skipper, with 1. And scores are locked away. Central District and Glenelg battling it out 13 and a half minutes into this third quarter. And there's an infringement in ruck.
Shepherding.
No,
CJ Cook. Oh, Honey Holm comes in here. Oh, Cookie and Holmie. They're having a go at each other there. Wasn't too happy. Holm with the attention that he gave the big ruckman and Arnold. Ricky Hall's forced the error. Come back to Stevens. The Bulldogs will go forward again. It goes up high. Where's Scotty Lee? He's allowed a little bit of space there. McArdle just gave him some room. Back to Lee's. Pushed over. In the back calls the umpire. So will Scotty Lee give us a check side punt? Andrew Pays.
I think he'll go back and kick the goal. Here he goes.
It's over the top. Out of bounds on the full.
2 poor efforts from that part of the ground there from the previous occasions from both of those Centrals players. So that might be something they'll work on during the week. But he went for the little Peter Dacos chip there beforehand, and he was unlucky not to get a better result from there.
Paul Sherwood, the 23-year-old, pushes it to Jamieson, who in turn looks for Kelly. Just a little too high for that player. He's good enough to recover. It doesn't quite sit for him under pressure from McGowan. Now Holm, claimed by Kelly. Kelly just wrapped him up and just sets the umpire to work.
Super tackle there. He wasn't going to go anywhere, Daniel Holm.
The old talk of years ago with coaches talking about second efforts and third efforts, but these days coaches demanding 4th, 5th and 6th efforts, and we just saw there Kelly First one he missed, second one he went and followed up. The third one, as Dave Mackay falls asleep on us, I'm not that boring, am I? I can't possibly be. Blood rule's been called here, but it is these days, coaches demand your fifth and your sixth efforts.
I wasn't going to
around
sleep,
the
I was just
football.
indicating the blood rule.
Oh, is that what it was?
Indicating the concussion there. But no, I think you're right. I mean, the demands on players, full stop, to the nth degree these days are a lot greater than what they ever were. The training commitment and what they need to do to make sure they're ready. And of course, it's very, very professional right from the top down. So, sure, they need to do the second, third and fourth efforts, and they need to be mentally and physically prepared to do that week in, week out.
Well, Jacket's off here in the commentary team as Dave Mackay just calls himself down. The game is hotting up. Scores are level, 5-5 apiece, as you can see on the top of your screen there, with nearly 16-minute mark of this third quarter. The umpire restarts the match. The ball will be put down. Fogden up against, looks like Arnold. Arnold should be too tall. He does that. He gets his hand to the football. Cook should come up with it. Goes for Fogden. Fogden dodges and weaves himself. He's shadowing, no doubt about that. Hill bounces once, nearly missed it. Gives it across to the running chick Widnam in the green boots. Goes over the top. Picked up by Byrne. No, it's over the top of Byrne. Good work here. Byrne comes again for his second effort. Turns, steadies, kicks and finds Bartlett.
Been his best game, Mark, for a long time.
Oh, yeah, he's just starting to find a bit of form. It's taken 6 or 7 weeks to just get a bit of fitness, used to this standard, not maybe standard of football, but just get back into match conditioning, as we shall call it. He's doing all right. Up to McGowan. McGowan should use his left leg. He wants to come back. So no players up. His error was forced there by the player in Byrne. Forced it enough to turn the ball over.
It's just good pressure there from the Bays, and yeah, like you said about Alan Bartlett, he really is starting to find the footy, and we said that all he would need to do was contest, but he's done more than that. He's provided them with a real option and a real contest.
When Stanley tried to claim the mark, the umpire called play on. Now McGowan gets it. So he's working hard from the middle, McGowan, deep in the back
Certainly
pocket.
covering a lot of territory, but it just doesn't seem to be the runners anymore. I mean, they're just not creating anything up the ground centrals.
Hamblin and Holm. Hicks fights hard for it. This is Damien Hicks in front of Sherwood. Higgins just wrapped him up. Play on to the umpire. Holm thumps it forward, but now it's Arnold who pushes the ball into space. Raiders, it's a foot race with Scotty Lee. Scotty Lee got fist the ball, forced it down, gathers Raiders. The umpire said unfairly and gave Raiders the free kick, but he plays on. Streaks away, Hamlin reaches, couldn't quite get there. Falcon over the top of it under pressure from Daniel, but it's Ellis who did very well. And his pants dragged off. Josh releases it, and now the ball will come back. Just trying to work out what happened there. Howard had the ball. The umpire said he was held when not in possession, so he disposed of the handball and was held too long in the tackle, you would guess.
Yeah, the question is right, David. You'd have to guess that one. Even us up in the commentary position, who have got the advantage over the supporters of having a monitor in front of them, still couldn't work that one there out. As Daniel comes up with the football. In there is Bartlett.
We did nothing wrong there except take his pants off, but
that wasn't the free kick. It was the one after that.
Nothing to do with that.
No, I think our producer just liked the shot.
It was certainly very cheeky of him anyway.
We may just throw down to Michael Parsons if he's with us down there at ground level. We noticed that one of the players, I think it was Burke, may have gone down to the change rooms.
Yes, mate, just a little cut that he came off for the blood rule. Just imagine he's just gone down to staple that one back up.
Jamison, long one, but Holm was courageous.
What a great mark. Put his body on the line there, didn't know what was coming from behind him, just kept his eyes on the footy, and that's typical of Daniel Holm.
Jamison, big fly. Oh, Hamblin. Well, hasn't he attacked the ball today? I like what I see. Grubbers one forward into space. Saywell dumps it wide. Scotty Lee, Mark Nailey like that. Scotty Lee caught inside the boundary line. Handball's in hope. Sherwood needs support, gets none, but got the handball away, dispatched it. Here comes Raiders.
Oh,
big crashing tackle.
Terrific football, Andrew Payne. That's desperation shown by both
fantastic
sides.
stuff, and well done to the umpires. They're playing it on, they're letting it go and trying to create what is a fast-moving game, and that was just good tackling all round.
Well, a bit of a crackle in the voice there, Angel Page. He's getting excited at this game. His score still locked away. Umpires paid the free kick. Fogden's still laying on the ground. Can't believe the free kick's been given against him. And big Arnold will go back outside his distance, no doubt about that. The other player comes off, like could be blood rule again. Player number 42. in Hamlin, who's kicked the major in the first quarter, will be replaced by Sean Chambers. Arnold on its way, just pulls it across the top of the square, over the back. McArdle couldn't take it. We see players just...
He's played well today, Arnold. Certainly dominated the centre square bounces and hit-outs there, and he's worked very hard around the ground as well.
Great contest. The scores are locked away. 20.5 minutes into the third term. It really is an arm wrestle. We promised you that at half-time, and I think the players have delivered throughout the third quarter as the fans are sitting on the edge of their seats.
We may just go down to Michael Parsons once again. He's wandering over to the Central District's box. What's happening down there at ground level, big fella?
Yes, mate. Hamlin just hobbled off the ground, went straight to the dugout, grabbed the ice bag. He has done a string.
Oh, no.
Straight to the hamstring. Bad news for a runner. And he was an exciting player today. Holm around the corner. Oh, here comes Damien Hicks. 25 out directly in front. Grabs a chest mark.
Just a disciplined kick there to the head of the square. Hicks read it well, played in front, and that was great work from Centrals. Well worked out.
Damien Hicks with 6 kicks, 1 handball. And so far in this match, he's got 1.
Now, how many times would you do this at training? 35, 40 metres out, directly in front. Should not miss.
Well, he's a pretty reliable kick. He's got a good kicking action, stays over it. Oh, but he's dragged this one to the left. And it's a point. He is generally, Andrew, very reliable when kicking for goal, the set shot.
His technique's very good, and he'd be disappointed. That's the second one he's missed today, and we just see a couple of opportunities for both sides go begging, and it's really the side that can grab this game by the scruff of the neck and open it up with some strong running and clean disposal.
Well, shoulder to shoulder. The huddle's been formed again at centre-half forward. The players break now, and you don't give this player too much room. Kick Whidden, he's found 30 metres. Decides to get the ball moving quickly. He does that down. Hill should jump at this. Going back with great courage there was Brookton. Cassidy will be the first player to take it. The handball wasn't good, but has time for his backman to get it across to Daniel. Now, Daniel, out of wing, keep the ball down the line, goes towards Hicks. Hicks couldn't take it. Good spoil from behind. He's forced out. Will be thrown in.
Certainly had a good game, Rod Jamieson. Certainly had a lot of the footy, and he's run from defence and kicked a couple of goals. So he's been a great contributor.
Quick hands inboard. The Tigers' defence now will clear. It's a high ball. Where's Bartlett? He's been outstanding this quarter. Well read there by Joseph Hicks. Takes a good, safe chest mark in the middle of the ground. A chance for Hicks. Got a player out wide. Has he got enough length? And I don't think he has. Good work by Kelly just to get an arm across the football. They come inboard. Daniel from a half-back flank will take this. Will run inside 50. Puts it on its way. It's to the top of the square. Where's Big Arnold? Jumping there was Hicks. Comes to ground level. Good tackle from behind. Good pressure by the defence. The ball's still alive. Great defensive action here by the Tigers. Big Arnold comes up with it. Slams it on the boot. And has just pushed it across the side of the big white stick, bring up another behind.
Working superbly today, the big fella there. Did everything right. They kept the ball in the area and close around the square, slammed it on his boot, but just couldn't come up with a major. But intensity really has lifted nails, hasn't it?
The football was hot. It was hot to get the hand on the football. Great defensive work there by the Central District forwards.
2 points in favour of the Bulldogs. 24 minutes into the third quarter. And Glenelg try and mount a challenge as we look towards three-quarter time. It's Raiders with the ball deep in the right defensive section for Glenelg. Looking for options, very few forthcoming. So he takes the long, high option. Fogden underneath this one, front position, two-handed attempt. Sujai Cook got the ball out. Now a chance for Centrals to run. It's Hicks releasing the ball to Hopwood, who goes towards half forward. Hall thumps from behind. Saywell, he is a mud runner. He loves these conditions. Now Stevens couldn't quite gather it in, but he's got Rod Jamieson. Or is it Gigney?
Gigney it was.
I think it's Gigney. It was Jamo, fellas. You've sold me the dummy.
You took it.
Ball's kicked forward again. Daniel overruns it. With him there in front was Carr. Couldn't quite get himself down far enough. The ball's forced out over the line in front of the members down here at Elizabeth Oval. We played 25-minute mark in this game. Another game down in Noarlunga. We see South 41 against West Adelaide 48.
Big comeback there.
So the Panthers still hanging in. The 37 plays 35 here. 2-point margin for the boys in the red, white and blue jumpers. Kicked up Jamison in front. It's covered a fair bit of territory here this afternoon. Head down, tail up is Higgins. Forces the ball forward. McGowan will come across to take it. Throws the ball out. Umpire missed that one as well. Good desperation. They're shown back there by Sherwood. Couldn't quite keep it within the area. It does now by Higgins. To slow up proceedings. Umpire will come in and throw up. Ball's high. Arnold over the top, looking for the running player moving forward. Comes down to Raidus. Raiden slips on the boot, comes towards the wing. Bartlett's been outstanding this quarter. Goes across the top. Oh, Jenny Holm forced the error. Second effort was even better. Hall comes in for the Tigers, looking for the support. Overrun it to Stevens. Stevens quickly onto the boot. The kick's not controlled. Scotty Lee just gave himself some space. He's taken high. The Bulldog supporters aren't happy here. The oldest player in the competition, they believe, should have received the free kick.
Just see the coaches there, Roger Gurnan, Peter Jonas, on the edge of their seats. There's absolutely nothing in this game.
Make no mistake, Andrew, this is a very important game for the Bulldogs.
It is. Their form's been inconsistent. We've seen them play some very, very good quarters of footy, but rarely have they stuck it together for the whole of the game. They had a good win last week. And being in sixth position on the ladder really is an opportunity for them to move up and have an impact on this competition this year.
So it's 2 points, Andrew, at three-quarter time. No win to speak of. Both sides will get an even run at the ball in the final quarter. I think you can guess already that it's going to be a slog, a hard-fought affair in the final term.
Indeed it is. It's really just going to come down to the side that's got the real running power in their legs. With such a big ground, you need to have fresh legs at the end of the day, and it's going to come down to the side that can use the ball the best, run, penetrate the lines and make the most of the opportunities. We've just seen both sides here in a close affair waste a couple of opportunities, and they haven't made the most of it in front of goal.
The three-quarter time scores. We'll see there Central Districts, they're 5 goals, 737s. The Tigers, they're 5 goals, 535. Fogden up against Arnold again. Arnold gets his hand on the football, then comes up with it. The big fella's come through the middle of the ground. Great work there, up towards McArdle. Couldn't take it. In there, Scotty lead over the top to Hicks. Hicks around the body. The bounce doesn't favour him. Goes through for another behind, but a great start. How about the big fella, Andrew? Knocking the ball down. The second effort was to pick it up, dodge and weave a couple of players, then boot the ball forward.
Can't ask for any more than that. He's been terrific all day, Arnold, and started again this last quarter in good form. And you just wonder whether Tony McGuinness needs to make a move on him. He certainly has been the dominant big man on the ground for the whole of the day.
Yes, well, I don't think he's got maybe the size out there. We'd love to have big Matthew Golding, which just did surprise me, Dave. I like the big fella, but did surprise me last week. I read a report during the week how he dominated last Saturday against the Panthers. I'd have to disagree, but he's back in the Crow side tomorrow, and good credit to him. McGowan comes up with it now. Chips it forward, finds Lee inside 50. Scotty Lee doesn't even turn around. He realises he is within kicking distance. He shouldn't make a mistake with his experience.
Just the cool head there of Rick McGowan. He saw Scotty Lee there, had a bit of time on his own and just made sure the kick hit him right where it had to.
Scotty Lee hasn't made the distance. In fact, accuracy's not that good either. He's kicked it out of bounds on the full.
Don't often see him do that. Very, very good user of the ball normally. He'd be disappointed with that one.
Damien Gigney with the ball. Deep in defence for the Tigers. The option is a long one and a high one. Big fly was Jamison, 2 bites, couldn't complete the second grab. Higgins almost got through traffic, but Arnold, who's been pretty good today, flicks out the handball and releases the Bulldogs runners. It's Saywell, a high one. From behind, it's Hicks, big flight, he's got it. That's an important grab.
Once again, we just see the excellent efforts of Damien Arnold, who I believe has certainly been best man on the ground. And this fella here certainly started to have an influence as well, Damien Hicks.
Damien Hicks, we looked at his score, he's got no goals, 3 behinds.
Well, what's your money? I reckon he should kick this. I think this would very important goal for the Bulldogs.
He's had a few siders, hasn't he? So this one should go right through the middle. It should.
It should, but it hasn't.
Didn't. Gee, that must be frustrating for a coach. You know that how important this game is to Peter Jonas, Andrew.
They're not difficult shots either. I mean, they're only 20, 30 metres out, not on a tight angle, and really at this stage of the game, the side that can get 1 or 2 goals in front in such a low-scoring affair is going to be the side that will run away with the points.
So the Tigers through Jamison bring the ball back in. He's a beautiful kick. He's Rodney Jamison. He goes wide. 39 plays 35. We played 3 minutes into this last quarter. Fogden up over the top. Wanted to knock the ball over, but this bloke is outstanding. Big Arnold again, and should get 25 metres. The umpire is not going to pay it.
It's got to pose the question whether or not he's going to play an important part next week in the state game after his form of the last 2 weeks.
Well, we haven't seen him for a couple of rounds now, so we really can't comment. But on today's form, David, he's been outstanding.
He has, hasn't he? I don't think you'd argue that at all. And Andrew, whose job it is to give the votes, has already hailed him this early in the 4th quarter as the best man on the ground.
Well, we're well and truly into the last quarter, and I think he's been the outstanding player on the ground.
Most influential, you would guess. Alistair Burke, 11 kicks and 6 handballs to Arnold. So you backed up by the stats, no question about that. Bartlett looked to play on, and he goes to ground, claimed by Daniel.
Not only that with Arnold, but I think his aerial work and also his work with his hit-outs in the middle of the ground, his centre square work has been outstanding, and certainly had a good game.
Almost 4.5 minutes in to the final quarter. That one thumped forward. Ellis overruns it. Picked up by Cook. Releases it to Byrne, who we just saw a little bit of at 3/4 time. He certainly seems to be a gun recruit for the Tigers. The kick into space and playing in front. Good mark, it's Paul Geister.
Yeah, good voice there by Geister. Just let a Raider know he was coming through, allowed him to come in and take a safe chest mark. Swatala takes it. The Bulldogs just keeping possession. He's found a player loose out there. Good mark. And a fair bit of pressure there. Up over the top. It's Chambers.
He's played well, hasn't he?
He has with his time, and he has been on the ground. Spent a little bit of time off. Good grab
Certainly
there.
What he's done well.
Higgins goes wide. Looking out there for Byrne once again, who's covering a fair bit of territory also. It's such a big oval, Elizabeth. It's a good chance here.
Enjoying the exports of their sides from the boundary line.
Oh, good work by Arnold again. Finds Marco Bello.
Where's he been, Nails?
Just appreciate that work. You just had to appreciate being a former Rover, just seeing a ruckman like that do what he did to set up that goal, and Bello capitalised by kicking a major. Look at this.
Just once again we see Arnold just tapped it behind there. Perfect stuff on the run. One bounce, steadied and kicked the goal. Damien Arnold, fantastic game. And there we see probably the most important goal of the whole game. Can this break it open? It's a great piece of roving, and not only that, he finished his work off.
As we go down to Michael Parsons, the Tigers have rung another change.
Yes, mate, just rotating Federer in for Smith at this stage.
So Smith off, Federer on, as the Tigers look for some more potency in their forward line. Byrne on the left boot, a long one towards full forward. 3 on to 2 back there. The Tigers outgunned on this occasion. Loose ball falls. Now here's an opportunity. Chigwidden around the corner, but it's wide and out of bounds on the full.
The Tigers need the next major. Set up there. Here's McGowan. Looks down the field. Good kick. He finds Hopwood. Hopwood's got the running player inside. He uses him. Maybe not the best option, Wozniak. The boys come up through the juniors, I think, David. Came from Gawler or somewhere, I think. Played in that competition before coming to Elizabeth. Kick forward again. No voice there for Chigwitham. Thought he had pressure on him. The umpire's call played on good umpiring. Working in hard there again was Byrne. Couldn't take it with him. It's over the top. Danny Holm, just throw it onto your boot. He does that. Gains about 25 metres as it runs out of bounds.
Good option. Super kick for touch, wasn't it? I mean, on his left foot, knew that he had absolutely nowhere to go and just kicked it another 30 metres, and it was a great effort.
But poor Chiggy had no voice at all. I mean, a player should have been screaming to him. He had time on his side to take a safe mark, but he panicked. Thought he may have possibly got crushed in the contest, but he wasn't.
And McGowan just applied a beaut tackle. Kelly, well, he's fighting hard for state selection, battling on. Swatala, McGowan, kick was smothered. Chambers, you're right, hasn't he been an impact player? Misses this one. Heel around the corner, also in line for state selection, named in the squad. Can't quite gather it in, and working hard over the top. It was Winstanley and Hopwood. Good battle.
Has been a good battle, and Ricky McGowan certainly having an influence on this game. He's really racking up stats. You would just see there 14 and 12, and he'll be on the ball all quarter trying to send his side forward.
Nothing frustrates me more, fellas, when you see a player going to a contest by himself and his teammates run away from him. They don't run to where the contest is going, just expecting him to take the ball and handball it to him. It happened then. We see the Bulldogs, they've got their tails wagging at the moment. Comes down to Cook, who's been very quiet this afternoon. Chips the ball over the top. Well read, well taken there.
Just seems to be down.
Joseph Hicks.
Seems to be down on a bit of confidence today, Sujay Cook. He started the game well last week, but has had no influence at all today.
He's had 9 kicks, 9 handballs, 18 possessions. Not a horrible day. He's worked hard under the packs. Probably not his most notable performance, but I think he's worked pretty hard. This is Wozniak. Game number 3 for him. He looks to be an impressive type of player. Sujay flicks it out wide. Heel needs support. He gets it in the running player in Sherwood. Injury cloud during the week, and he's recovered and played pretty well today. The kick forward, McEntee misses it. Out the back door. Good work, Hopwood, again towards the boundary line. I like what he's done.
Certainly smart play, and as you said before, Mark Nayley, that they got over there in numbers there, Centrals, and just made sure that they had 2 or 3 going to the footy, not expecting for their teammate to get the ball and then give it off. They just ran to where the contest was.
That's the difference between the sides there, where the Tigers players expecting the one player to come up with the football, and they're leaving the contest. If you watch the AFL now, everything's played in tight and then close with players and numbers running to where the football is, and that's the way the Tigers really are letting themselves down in this last quarter.
You just can't rely on no errors, especially on a day like today. The ball's heavy. It's been dewy, and blokes are going to make mistakes.
Raiders swings it back inboard. Jamison, who's worked very hard today, to Byrne, who's just knocked up getting kicks and handballs, goes towards goal, right on the line. Hereda cuts back, switches the direction of play. I think it was lucky that that came off. Swatala.
That was good. I mean, it's always encouraging to see a guy that's prepared to take it on and not just rush it through from behind. Shows a sign that they're confident in their running, the Bulldogs.
Say well to Wozniak, sets up the run for the Bulldogs' defence. And the kick is good.
Excellent kick.
Hicks again. So they're running from defence and it's working for them. Now they stagnate in the midfield. The kick is wide. Wozniak again. Short, over the top. Scotty Lee releases Saywell. He's 60 out and closing. He can go long for goal, but good desperation work by Raiders in defence for the Tigers. Has forced the turnover to Jamison, deep in the Tigers' defensive zone.
Jamo round the body, goes wide, looks out for Ellis. Ellis not there. The Bulldogs are running in numbers. Stevens comes up with it just outside 50, puts it on its way. Scotty Lee, a little nudge, and takes the mark. Oh, he goes
Didn't muck around either.
He wasn't going to have a set shot.
No, he just didn't want any more pressure than what he had to have, and just banged it straight on there for his second goal. But that's experience for you, that's strength for you, and he finished it off with a great mark and a great goal.
We just see the ball coming in. Look at him, just gave a little nudge out, just enough for him to take it. And then decided, well, I'm not going to go back.
Good recovery considering Casserly could have run in and kicked an unprotected goal almost. Raiders was very good to apply the tackle.
Raiders has been good all day, but that's experience, a real art form, the one-on-one duel. Just got the bum in there and held him out and took a great mark.
So the Dogs are controlling this last quarter. 16 times more inside 50. And they're starting to put some majors on the board. Up goes Fogden again. Arnold, oh, he's just sensational today. Comes down to Byrne. Byrne over his top. Comes up forward. They've got the numbers here. Big AB. Was the captain of the Australian kicker side. Now he kicks a major. So they respond the Tigers for a goal through Alan Bartlett. And there's still time for these Tigers to get up. That's his third, Alan Bartlett.
That's his third. Good goal, and couldn't have come at a better time for Glenelg. He's had an excellent day, and that's a real team lifter, and it gives them a chance. They're still there. They're still in it.
Tigers about to make a change as we go down to Michael Parsons again.
Right. Yes, boys, and you just see Ricky Hall coming on for CJ Cook that has had an exceptionally quiet day, considering what we saw him, or how often we saw him get the ball last week.
Michael, we just got to, I know you're a former champion ruckman. The effort today of Damien Arnold, it just really has been outstanding.
Yes, mate, he has got his hand to the ball just about every restart. It does worry me a little bit, though, when you see a ruckman that is just so dominant, still going up and trying to hit the ball with his fist. I think he's better than that. I think he can use an open hand, set up his running players a little bit better, and really put it down to a spot.
Wonder who the ruck coach is at Elizabeth Nails.
Well, it's not me.
Do anything for money, chaps.
Oh, he puts the for sale sign up pretty quick, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. We see players starting to warm up again. This player here in question is Brent Howard. Played his first game last week.
Prime Minister.
We've got a few of them running around. A few Howards in the competition. Good work. Cassidy comes up with it. Jamo again throws it onto his boot. Back there is Daniel, who really has snuck down, playing across that half-forward line, just kicking the ball in. Going back with great courage there was Higgins, just pushing the ball out over the line. So 51 plays 41, 10-point margin, and we've played 14 minutes into this last quarter.
You just get the feeling now that really important for the Bays to get down there and get a quick one. 10 points has been the biggest margin of the day, and Central Districts really have had the majority of the footy in their forward line this quarter.
13 points at quarter time, 5 at half time, and 2 points at three-quarter time. But this might be decisive. Bello goes for goal. He's clever on the left foot. He's kicked 2 very important goals, both this quarter,
both
as he stamps his authority, and both, you're about to say, Andrew, coming from the ruck contests.
Yeah, it has been 2. One at half forward, and then just see with this one in the pocket here. He's read it beautifully, turned around on his left foot and kicked it, and that's a couple of excellent pieces of roving skill that would bring a smile to Mark Nayley's face, and certainly ignite the Doggies as they go to 16 points in front. It's a great goal. 2 goals in the last 10 minutes to Marco Bello.
57 plays 41. More changes have been made down at ground level. Michael Parsons.
The microphone's now on Nails, and I'm ready for you. Tommy Carr has just come off, and Brett Howard has rushed back on, pretty keen to get involved. And Huey Ream has gone down to the forward line for Centrals to replace McArdle.
Nails, get the runner out to Parsons and tell him he's got a lift.
We've got to support our teammates up here, David. Be right with them. Sujay Cook just pondering now the game that he's had.
David Mackay thought he had a reasonable game, but obviously not. He's sitting there in the dugout.
Our statistician Ian Mogridge just pointing out that Glenelg haven't touched the ball between the centre and the Central District half-forward line.
Yes, that's a good stat. Very quick, very knowledgeable in the game of football. The player hasn't played at league level. Hicks again. Just trying to hang on to it. Scotty Lee slungs his player to the ground. He just sensed in the moment the Bulldogs are not going to let this game go without a good fight. And they're up at the moment by 16 points. Hill gets hit late there after the mark was taken by Marco Bello. After mark was taken by Hill by Marco Bello, and does receive a 25 penalty. So good umpiring. It was there. The mark was taken.
Well done by Simon Hill there. He had 4 or 5 players converging on him, had to stand his ground, kept his eye on the footy, and not only took the mark, but he's got himself a 25-metre penalty. Just get the feeling they really need they really need to score here now, Glenelg, don't they?
14 kicks, 4 handballs for Hill.
Hill comes in. Kicking hasn't been that good this afternoon. How many times have you seen balls float in like that this afternoon, making it very difficult for the forwards to take. As we said, they've been playing in front, you've been rewarded. In that case, they weren't. Cassidy comes up with it. It's over the top now. The running player is 19, is a raider from a centre-half back. He gets to it and kicks the ball up forward, looking for Hicks. Hicks has got 3 Glenelg players on him here. And so they should. He's been outstanding in the second half. Comes again up to a raider who's kept running. Kelly's in there as well. The ball will be thumped forward. Chance again for Stevens. It's not Stevens, in fact, that it is Chambers. Goes around his body. He's got the player up forward again, and Hicks turns, time, kicks around his body. He's smothered beautifully. A chance for the Bays through Kelly to defend.
Kelly releases the ball further field. Jamison's run downfield. He got it from Burke. A little push there on Bartlett, but Joe Hicks got away with it this time. Forces it wide. The Bulldogs have got plenty of space. Chambers, I've been pretty impressed with his form today. He's run very hard. We're 18 minutes into the final term, and it's the Bulldogs by 16 points. You'd have to suspect that from here, playing the way they are, they'll get home.
I don't think there's any doubt about that. It's just the experienced players of Central's. The Raiders running hard. McGowan's had his hands on the footy. Holm, Scotty Lee, they've just steadied the ship, and that's been the difference in the last quarter here. They just seem to have a little bit more run in their legs.
Well, you gave us a stat at the start of the game, Andy, that Central have won 13 of their last 14 clashes. I guess that this was a very important game for the Tigers.
Yeah, I don't know whether they would have gone in with any confidence because of that, or because of Glenelg's excellent form, but it's just funny how some sides tend to have the wood on others, and I mean, that's pretty amazing, really, when you consider that there hasn't been much in those two sides over the years.
Loose ball's a chance here. Nearly tripped as he kicked the football. It goes up wide. McEntee really haven't seen the best of him this afternoon. Ends up with Geister. Geister goes back where it came from. And again finds Hicks.
When you're thinking better players, I guess you're going to have to put Geister in for his defensive role for the Bulldogs. Andrew?
I think he's done a very good job back there. There hasn't been too much when you consider that Glenelg have only kicked 6 goals. He's certainly played his part in Central's position on the scoreboard at the moment. Just see the 2 coaches there, Johnny Sneebickler, and just wondering what they can do. I mean, it's very late in the game. Brenton Honor, the reserves coach, and really just comes down to the players that are prepared to take a chance, take a risk, and run, and see if they can penetrate the lines and get a couple of quick ones.
Oh, Arnold just keeps picking up statistics. Roves his own ruck work. It's getting dark here at Elizabeth Oval. Must be getting late into the day's game. The ball's just socked forward. Chance now coming out how hard there was Win Stanley. He just needs to bend down and pick it up. You never overrun the football. She's not having confidence. Coming back to Daniel. Daniel goes around. He has time on his side. Win Stanley just puts a bit of pressure on him. Marco Bello comes up with it. Handballs are forward. Hasn't found the boundary line. 23 is James Byrne. He's got a lot of the football in the second half. Good work by McEntee to trap it. Still fighting hard for it. In there again. Looks like it's Geister will come up with it. Wanted to play on, but the umpire had already blown his whistle. So we see there now, Roger Girdham quite happy with today's proceeding. Has a stretch.
Looking quite content and pretty relaxed about it all at this stage of the game, and rightly so. They've got a good lead. Brian Herrera's had an excellent game at centre-half back. David, what do you think? He hasn't played a lot of footy over the last few years, and he'd be very happy with his form.
Yes, I think that's a pretty good call, isn't it? Missed most of last year with a fractured leg.
Almost like a recruit, you said earlier in the call.
Yes.
Fair comment too.
Yeah, I think they'd be very happy to have him back. The Bulldogs by 16 points. This now means that they've won their last 3 games. They're starting to string some form together. This is important for them, this one. If they'd lost today, they really would have been in some trouble. A Raider just misjudged it. Wozniak, a high ball, one-on-one contest, and Joe Hicks was right up to the contest.
Played well today, Joe Hicks. Looks like a versatile type, can play either end of the ground, and he's done some good things in defence.
A year off last year, travelled overseas. Really didn't set the world on fire with Sturt, but he seems to have found a niche here with the Bulldogs.
Done well there, just reading the play, and obviously feels pretty relaxed. Toured the world, and now he's back enjoying some footy.
The late marks this afternoon, to his credit, has been good. Scotty Lee goes over the top, finds Lilico.
Really just quite happy to hold it up now, Central, aren't they? Maintain possession of the footy and just let that top clock tick down, and they'd be pretty comfortable with it where they're at the moment.
Bello to Stevens, looks for the running home up further. He just needs the ball to bounce and sit for him. Oh, it does now. No real pressure, no desperation by the Tigers. Sees the ball centred. Mark taken by Swatala. He's quick to his feet, quick to go back, and he's kicked the major, Adam Swatala. That's his first for the afternoon.
Well, that certainly stitched it up for the Bulldogs, but Daniel Jaime had time to do everything there. Just brought it back inboard into the centre corridor there. Swatala had time to play on and nailed it from about 35 metres out. Well done, and that was a sealer for the Doggies.
Adam Swatala, number 43, had a couple of seasons now here at Elizabeth Oval. He's played 40 games now. He's kicked 31 goals. So he's had a couple of good seasons here playing for the Bulldogs. Arnold again, he's just in everything this afternoon. The umpire, I don't know why he blew his whistle. The ball was still moving forward. They've been very good this afternoon, I must say.
So there, Joshua Carr coming on. Tony McGuinness trying to get some bite, trying to get some pace late in the game. He realises that it could, it's well and truly slipping away now, and it's just trying to unbalance centrals up forward there.
Kelly around the corner, into space. Time running out for the Tigers. The Bulldogs look like they're in control as Carr forces the ball towards Jamison at centre forward, and Jamo's marked about 45 metres out, directly in front.
Jamo just goes back and puts his mark where the mark was taken. Well within kicking distance, David.
I think he cribbed a metre or so too.
Well, he may have.
Very clever, very intelligent.
Ricky Hall has come off again. Can't be too happy with today. He hasn't spent a great deal of time on the field.
So Jamo back from the Crows for the Tigers. We were concerned before the game about their ability to kick a winning score. Jamo gets a late goal, but I think it might be too little too late for the Tigers as one lonely supporter puts his hands together.
We'll just see the build up here. Good take out in the middle there. Joshua Carr just saw Jamison making the movement from full forward and just laid it out in front of him. A good kick and a good mark by Jamison, and went back and put the major up. But as you said, David, it's maybe a little bit too late.
Well, they've lost Corns. They've lost Bode, who'd been a goal kicker for them. And McEntee was always going to need to kick a bagful. So it's 63 to 47 as Central District go forward yet again. Fenema for the Tigers forces the ball back. Now Ellis, who's been one of Glenelg's better players today, when Stanley misses it. At the back, that was at Hamlin. There is Ann Stevens, just inside the line, claimed and across the line.
Yeah, dead right, David. They just haven't had the options up forward, have they? Without Liptak, Bode, we also see Melody hasn't played today, Corns, and they just haven't had the options up forward, whereas Centrals, they just seem to have more avenue towards goal.
I think
the experienced players have also just dictated play a bit, especially towards the end of the game.
Also missed Goldie. They really haven't had a winning ruckman.
Well, we've sung his praises all day, haven't we? Damien Arnold has just been outstanding, and you know, that Glenelg, they haven't had anyone that's been able to curb his influence whatsoever.
So Sujai had his head pulled off, takes a free kick. We are 25.5 minutes in to the final quarter. Swatala, who's done a terrific job today defensively and shown a new side, a new dimension to his game.
Yeah, no doubt about that, and it's just important for players that are either renowned in an attacking ability or whatever, when they're given a role, to stay on someone, and he's certainly done it very well today, Adam Swatala. He played an excellent game.
When Stanley gets his hands to the football, comes down to Byrne. Burton couldn't get clear. Just outside of 50 for the Tigers, the ball will be thrown up. Getting to his feet very slowly there was James Byrne. He kicked the major in the first quarter. Worked hard since that time. He must be one of the better players for Glenelg. Ball comes down. Holm should clean this up. Danny Holm just sells himself. Sees a player running through to the middle of the ground, which is Hopwood. They've got the numbers here, the Bulldogs. Hicks across now to Chalmers. Chalmers has the time to be able to put the ball on the dirt. Takes one touchdown, then heads towards Scotty Lee. Out in front, got his hands to the ball the first time. Good work there by Scotty Lee. play coming up there was Hugh Reimers back on this last quarter after spending much of the game on the bench. And the ball was just forced through for a rush behind as we see number 9, Alistair Burke. Quite happy to see it over. 9-10, 64. The Tigers 7-5, 47. And Andrew, we must say that the Tigers, they didn't stop trying, but the Bulldogs just too good in this last quarter.
Yeah, it's just been, as we said before, the experience in the end and the options that they've had up forward. Glenelg's endeavour's been good all day.
Centrals will now take 2 weeks off. The state game weekend next weekend, followed by the bye, while Glenelg will travel to Adelaide Oval to take on the Eagles. That'll be an interesting contest, and it looks at this stage like it's 2 versus 3. A tough encounter for the Tigers and the Eagles, an important one, as they meet for the second time this year. 27.5 minutes played, this final quarter from Elizabeth Oval. Bartlett, who's just motoring on, a lone hand in the forward line for the Tigers, goes towards Jamison. Bello heads the ball towards the boundary line. He's quite content to concede the line.
Yeah, he's done a couple of very important things too in the last quarter. We see him kicked a couple of great goals from the ruck contests there and just working the ball out of bounds, and they're just quite happy to see the clock tick down.
So this win this afternoon may see the Bulldogs back into the 5. They're well, they were 5th, so they will remain in that area. So it's good on them. They found a bit of form last week. They've maintained it this week.
So 17-point margin in favour of Central District, and I guess it's one of those wins, Andrew, where they really fought hard. They were down 13 points at quarter time, 5 points at half time, but really laboured hard and worked very hard in the second half to finally win by 17 points.
They just plugged away, didn't they? It was a very, very even contest for most of the afternoon, and they just ran it out a little bit harder, used the ball a little bit better, and used their options up forward a bit more cleanly and effectively in the last quarter, and that's a very, very good win for them, and that'll see them definitely move into the 5. See Daniel Holm there, he had a great game.
We've got to say,
Rod Jamison played very well too, I thought. Used his experience, played in defence, and then we saw him move into attack in the last quarter and kick a goal. They're pretty happy about it, the Doggies. They know it was an important game for them, and they've come out with the points, and well done to them.
Jamo and Scotty Lee, former Crows,
DB, yeah.
former Crows teammates. Great respect on the football field. Jamison did battle out hard for the Tigers.
Well, I thought he, along with Alan Bartlett, were the 2 best players for the Glenelg side.
Well, who were your best 3 for both sides?
Well, I couldn't go past Damien Arnold. I thought his effort in the ruck for 4 quarters was outstanding. Not only did he win the hit-outs, but he moved around the ground, and his game was certainly an outstanding one. Ricky McGowan played very well too, I thought, in the middle, David.
You look at Bartlett. You look through the Central District side. A lot of very good players on every line.
There are indeed, and just I think they've got a lot more experience than Glenelg at the moment. That just really shone out. Michael Parsons on the boundary line there, ready to give us a bit of a report. What's the feeling like down there, Michael?
Yes, David, with me, the man that Paisley's picked out as a dominant man on the ground, Damien. Great game today and a fantastic win for the club.
Yeah, it was a good win by the boys. Pretty scrappy early, but we had to win at home, and we just made sure we did that.
You got a little bit shaky there, 3 losses in a row, but over the last 3 weeks, things are starting to come back together. Yeah. It must be a good feeling around the club now.
Yeah, the feeling's really picked up, and that was something we really worked hard on. We weren't happy with the first 3 games, so yeah, we really worked hard, trained hard, and finally getting some rewards.
And yourself, you ran all day on the ball today. Are you enjoying that, or do you prefer to have a sit down, a bit of a break every now and then?
Don't mind the break, but I do enjoy it, and although Unley was a lot easier, it's quite hard here.
It is a big ground out here. And Marco Bello, he's come across from Victoria this year. You've seemed to be developing a pretty good relationship, and one particular where it resulted in a goal for Marco today.
Yeah, Marco's a great little rover, and yeah, we get along real well and know what each other's doing already, so yeah, that stands us in good stead, I reckon, for the rest of the year.
And state game next week, and then another bye after that. 2-week break, mate. The team going fishing, or do you reckon Jonah will make you work through it?
Yeah, we're going to work. He won't give us any weekends off, and we've got 2 internal trials for both weekends. So quite
All right.
busy.
Okay, Damien, again, fantastic game today. Fantastic on your own form. Congratulations.